Now let's learn about what if-else statements are. So basically, whenever we want to run a certain part of code based on a certain condition, there we use if-else statements. So let's check the examples. For example, I have a variable x with value 5. Then I can write a condition if x equals 5, print value 5, else print value is not 5. So here we can see this is the if statement and this is the else statement. Now you can see the indentation here. Sorry, here. This indentation is needed. So in other languages, we have curly braces like this, and at the end of the if statement. So this block represents that it is an if condition. But here in Python, we don't use curly braces. We just use the indentation. So this is a 4 spaces gap, and this represents all the statements. We can write multiple statements here, like we can write x. So all the statements with this indentation here just below the if statement will represent that the code is under the if condition. Similarly with the else condition as well. So here, if I talk about this code, so here we are checking if variable x, I mean the value of x is equals to 5. So double equals to operator means it is checking the value, and single equals to means it is assigning the value to this variable. So here we are checking the if value is equals or not. So here 5 will be equals to 5. Therefore, the output of the program will be value is 5 and then value. So basically this condition will get true and these statements will get executed. And this statement will not be executed because the control will not come to else statement. It will just go after the else statement. Let's say I'm writing here end. So it will print end. Now let's run this program. So here we can see the first output is value is 5 because the condition is true here, and then we are printing value of x as 5, and after that else statement will not get executed because if statement is executed. Therefore control will go to line number 7 and it will print end. Now let's check other conditions as well. So we have not equals to. If a print x is not equals to 5, that means 5 is not equals to 5. So this condition will become false, and then it will go to the control will go to the else statement. Hence, it will print value is not 5. Although the statement is wrong here, we can write it as value is 5. And here we can write as value is not 5. Why? Because we are checking if value is not 5, not equals to 5, then print value is not 5, not equals to 5, and print x. Otherwise, we will print value is 5 and then we are printing end. So let's run this program. So here it is printing value is 5. So it is printing the else part. Why? Because this condition, 5 is not equals to 5, this will become false. Why? Because 5 is equals to 5. And when this if condition becomes false, it will move to else part, and then it will directly execute the statements which are present under the else part, and after that it will execute the other statements. Now let's check other symbols. So if x is less than, let's say, 6, so here we can update value is less than 6, that else value is greater than 6. So here it will check if 5 is less than 6. Therefore, this condition will become true. Hence, this statement will get executed, and it will now ignore the else part, and it will directly move to end part. So let's run this program. Here we can see value is less than 6. Value is less than 6 is printed. Why? Because 5 is less than 6, and this condition becomes true. And then it prints end. Now let's check with greater than equals to symbol. So this will check if x is less than 6 or x is equals to 6. So it will check both the conditions, and whatever the condition is true, it will execute this statement. We can write, and we can check x is less than 6, so it will get true. So it will print the same statement again. Value is less than 6 and now if I change the value to 5, so now x is less than 5, no, but x is equals to 5. So 5 is equals to 5, this condition will again true, and this statement will again get printed. Now let's run this program. Here we can see value is less than 6 and then end. Now if I change this value to 4, now first it will check if 5 is less than 4, this will become false because 5 is greater than 4. 4. Now it will check if 5 is equals to 4, this condition will also become false. Therefore, this overall if condition becomes false. Now it will move to else part. It will print value is greater than 6. So we have to, sorry, less than equals to 4. Value is less than 4, less than equals to, value is greater than, will move to else part. It will print value is greater than 4. Now let's run this program. Here we can see value is greater than 4 and then end. Similarly, we have greater to symbol. So if x is greater than 4, value is greater than 4, and otherwise value is less than 4. So here we can see 5 is greater than 4. This condition will become true, and hence this statement will get executed, and it will print value is greater than 4. And then else will be ignored and end will be printed. Let's run this program. Here we can see value is greater than 4 is printed. Similarly, we can add equals to symbol. So we can change the value here, and we can check if x is greater than or equals to 5. We can print value is greater than or equals to 5. Else value is less than 5. Let's run this program. Since 5 is first it will check 5 is greater than 5. No, 5 is not greater than 5. Then it will check 5 is equals to 5. Yes, 5 is equals to 5. Therefore, this if condition becomes true. Hence, it will print value is greater than or equals to 5. And then else will be skipped and then it will print end. Now let's change the value to, let's say, 3. Here, not 3, we can write 6. And here also we can change value is greater than or equals to 6. Value is less than 6. Now if we run this program, it will first check the if statement. If 5 is greater than 6, this condition is false because 5 is less than 6. Then it will check 5 is equals to 6. This will also become false. Therefore, if condition now becomes false. Now it will move to else part and will print the value is less than 6 and it will print end. So here we can see value is less than 6 is printed and then end is printed. Now we can have the logical conditions. So let's remove this. So let's say x is equals to 5. So now we can check multiple conditions by using and or not. So these are the logical conditions. So let's check with first and. If x is greater than 3 and x is less than 6, if else print else print end. So here if I change comparison, okay, we don't want to simplify here. We can one more variable. Let's say y equals to 6. If x is greater than 3 and y is less than 8. Okay. Now it will check first condition. If x is greater than 3, so x is 5. 5 is greater than 3. This condition will become true. Now to execute this statement under if, both the conditions have to be true because we are using AND operator. So if any of them is false, it will skip the if statements. So this condition is true. Now let's check the second condition. So 6 is less than 8. This condition is also true. Therefore, it will print if statement and then it will ignore the else part and then it will print the end. So let's run this program. So here we can see if is printed and then end is printed because these two conditions are true. Now let's make any of the condition as false. So let's change this value to, since y is 6, so we can make y is less than 5. Now 6 is less than 5. This condition will become false. Therefore, true and false will result into false. Only true and true can result into true. Otherwise, every combination will result into false. And then it will print the, it will go to the else part. So here, if we run this program, so it print else and then end. Now we can try or here. If I type or, it will check if any of the condition is true, it will uh, execute the statements which are under this condition. So here x is greater than 3, that is 5 is greater than 3, this will become true. So it will not check this condition, it will just simply execute the statements under this if condition. So let's run this program. So here we can see it printed if and then end. It doesn't go to else part. And if both the conditions are false, then only the result will be false and then it will go to the else part. So let's change this value. So 5 is greater than, let's say, 6. So now this condition is false, then it will check this condition. So this is also false and it will result into false. So for AND operator, both the conditions have to be true to get the resultant as true. And for OR, any of the condition needs to be true. So here both the conditions are false, therefore the result will be false. It will print only the else part. Let's run this program. So here we can see it printed else and then AND. Now let's check the NOT operator. So if, let's say, if x equals 5, so this will print if. Why? Because 5 is equals 5. So if we print not here, not will revert the or inverse the output of this condition. So if this is true, so not with this condition will be false. If this condition is false, then not and this condition will become true. So here in this case 5 is equals to 5, this condition will be true. But with not operator, this will get inverted and it will result into false. And therefore it will print the else statement. So let's run this program. So here else is printed. So not will just invert the resultant. So now apart from this, we can use multiple if statements. So let's check how. Let's say x is greater than 6. We can print x is greater, or we can simply say value is greater than 6. Then we need to check, we need to add another if statement. So we can write elif x equals 5, print value is equals to 5. We can put n number of elif x is less than 5, value is less than 5. So here there is no need of y. So now let's check if x, so here x equals to 5, that means value of x is 5. Now check first condition. I will just minimize this. X is greater than 6, 5 is greater than 6, so this condition will become false. Then it will check, it will go to the next elif statement. So earlier it was going to else statement. Why? Because there were no elif statements. So the control will move to the next elif statement. So here we will check if 5 equals 5, so this condition is true. Therefore it will execute the statements this and which are present under this statement. So here it will print value is equals to 5. And once any of the condition is true, the control will ignore all other conditions. Whether they are true or false, it will just ignore. So here we can see 5 is less than 5. This is also true. So accordingly, this should printed, but this will not get printed. Why? Because the condition before this, that is, this condition is already true. Hence, it will execute this statement and then control will move out of this if else block. It will print end. Therefore, the output will be value is equals to 5 and then end. So let's run this program. So here we can see it printed value is equals to 5. So this is printed because this is the first condition that becomes true, and after that it moves out of the if else statement and prints end. So this is the multiple if else conditions. Now we have a concept called nested if conditions. Let's check that also. So here we can write if x is greater than 6. So this will so let's check f is x is less than 6, and we can print value is less than 6. Now we can again add if else block. So here if I write if x equals 5, print value is equals to 5, else print value is value is less than 5. Here else print value is either greater than or equals to 6, and then print end. So let's understand this code first. So here we have assigned 5 value to x, and then we have condition if and else. So for if condition we have if x is less than 6, and then we have these statements. So if x is less than 6, then only these statements will get executed. But if x is greater than or equals to 6, then it will move to else part. So therefore in else part, we have written print a statement as with a string as value is either greater than or equals to 6. Now let's understand the nested if part. So here we have indented the blocks with 4 spaces. So now it will first print value is less than 6 because condition we have checked here is less than 6. Now we have the nested if conditions, if else. So nested means the if condition under the if condition. So this is nested if conditions. So now we are checking if x is equals 5. So basically first we have checked the value should be less than 6, and now we are checking value is equals to 5 or not. So if it is equals to 5, then value is equals to 5 we are printing. Otherwise in else part we are printing value is less than 5. So here in our case value is 5. So 5 is less than 6. This condition will become true. So it will enter this part and it will ignore the else part. Now value is less than 6 will get printed. After that it will check if 5 is equals to 5. So this condition will also become true. So it will execute all the statements under this if condition and it will ignore else part. So value is equals to 5 will get printed, and then it will go after the else part. So there are no statement after the else part. So it will move out of this if block. And once it is controller move out of the if block, it will go to the, after the else part. So here we get end. So basically first this statement will get printed, then this statement will get printed, and then this will get printed. So now let's run this program. So here we can see value is less than 6. So this statement is printed. Then value is equals to 5. This statement gets printed, and then end is printed. So this is all about the nested if else condition. Now we have one more thing. So if we can write this if else condition in a single statement as well. For example, print value is equals 5 if x equals 5, else print value is not equals to 5. So basically, if I talk about this, so this is the simplified version of this code. I will put that in comment later. If x equals 5, then I will copy. Else print value is not equals to 5. So the simplified version of these four statements is this one. So it will print this value. Basically, it will run this statement if x equals 5, if this condition is true. Otherwise, it will move to else part, which is this. So in a single statement, we can write this code as a single statement like this. So I've commented this code. That means Python interpreter will ignore this code. It will be treated as comment, and it will execute only these two lines. So let's run this program. So here the output is value is equals to 5. So that's all about the if else conditions.